Hello everybody and welcome back to this episode of Minecraft. So today we are going to do a little bit of decoration, but it's more like landscaping decoration. Now, previously to kind of like we did with the valley over there with the tree, but now dun, dun, dun. Look at this. This ugly stone wall is here now. I like to think of it as a little bit of a landscaping project in progress. It's basically, I took a cliff idea or an island, kind of like how I built these, and I raised it up just very slightly, and I built a little pond here. See, previously in the last episode, we actually had a wooden dam, which was right here. You can kind of see the wood right there, still right there, because I didn't have enough sand to actually cover the wood right there. But check this out. So we got this neat little pond here with like a miniature ravine on the inside of it, which I did on off camera, and it tells a little bit of a story because you can see I used some bone meal to actually make giant bone blocks right there to kind of make like a fossil of some kind of sea creature long past. Then, of course, I got some other deep parts here with like some scattered terrain, some log that's just sitting here, and a couple other stuff just dotted all over the place. So it's pretty neat and interesting, and it really adds flavor to this area, to this nature zone. So anyway, let me just show you what I've been doing. So previously, the bees have been falling off the island, and it's been a pain in the butt. And I mean, it's been driving me crazy that I can't just have the bees out and about. So I started working on the natural wall that I mentioned in the last episode. As you can see here, this is actually pretty basic, and the reason why it doesn't have dirt or any other the cool, neat, natural stuff on here is because I kind of wanted to explain how I normally build these islands, but I got the boring part out of the way, which is the hollowing or the husk of the inside. So we're going to jump down here with this artificial tree that I made right here to kind of cover up this ugly side over here and some light. But I added this door here that basically takes you on the inside of the catacombs, or at least one part of the catacombs. So you can see up there, I used half slabs only because it makes the wood supply go a long way if you make it half slabs for this. But the inside of here is just smooth stone. But if you look at the floor here, it's half slab cobblestone. That way I don't have to litter the entire inside of this with torches or like water. I could just put half slabs down and nothing can spawn in here, and I can freely move around. So, oh, you see some XP here because I was actually killing some mobs and they fell in this hole and they died. And you can see a lot of natural light in here, and that's just because there's holes up here, and I'll show you what the holes are there for in a moment. Of course, when I got over here, I ran out of half slabs, and still don't have any half slabs to put over here, but I'll come back later and fix that up. But anyway, so this is basically what the inside looks like before I start putting dirt on it that will eventually turn into grass blocks. On this end here, we actually got an entrance here. Now, this is probably the second entrance that actually has a door that goes straight into the catacombs. Everything else requires like a manhole. And then, of course, since this new hollow island is attached to the farmer island, I made another staircase in here that takes you into this area, which over here is actually a little bit of a furnace area, like a bulk smelting area, which I'll show you real quickly. This is basically a simple design. Has a rail cart that goes back and forth with a chest in it. You put in some stone or whatever you're smelting at the time into these chests. These chests will be evenly dispersed with the workload, smelt whatever materials in it, and then drop it in a chest down below with hoppers. And so I got just some simple items over here that I got. Just some extra bits that I haven't really found a location for. Over here is mostly just like wood supplies, or at least it was until I started to really like, I want to say like exhaust my wood supplies, which I should take some time one day to replenish because we're about out, dude. So anyway, today I'm just going to show you how I normally do this. I got a chest that's already up here ready. As you saw, as I was running over in this direction, there's a little bit of a dirt ladder, and that's so that the grass that's growing up here while I'm filling in everything will actually have some dirt to turn into grass. So we're going to take a couple of these. Oh, but you know what? You know what I haven't grabbed yet? The pumpkins. So I got to grab those real quick. Alright, so I'm back here. We're on top of the island that we're working on, and as you can see, I got some jack-o'-lanterns. Hopefully it will be enough. I have already cut out the areas where the jack-o'-lanterns are supposed to go. Now, in experimenting, I found that if you have a jack-o'-lantern down and you have a leaf block on top of it, and as long as they're 4 blocks apart from the next light source, you shouldn't really have any mob spawns. Now, this was through trial and error because over here, not on this end, but over there on the other side of the trail, the light source is actually 1 block further apart, which occasionally will have mob spawn. Anyway, so jump to this. I'm going to show you the new favorite thing I have here, and that is this. Watch this. Boom. Okay, so let me give you an explanation here. So originally, if you wanted to put down a jack-o'-lantern, this was like a couple of updates ago, you actually had to put it on something like a dirt block or whatever. And if I was making this hollow area, I would have had to pillar up to each hole inside the island, put a fake, like a temporary block, and then cut it out after I put the jack-o'-lanterns down. But now, you don't have to do that. But at some point in time, they snuck this by and said, hey, how about we just make it just like any other block and you could just stick it to the side. So this makes putting the jack-o'-lanterns inside this hollow island much easier. I don't know who decided that was like, hey, we need to fix this, so this is annoying, but thank goodness, because it was driving me insane. But yeah, so we start off putting some jack-o'-lanterns in the holes first. Then after each jack-o'-lantern is in the proper hole, we'll take some leaf blocks and we put them over the jack-o'-lanterns like this. And now that the lighting process is done with the jack-o'-lanterns and the leaf blocks, now all we have to do is fill the entire area with dirt. And as you can see, grass has already reached the top here, so we have no time to lose. And now that we got all the dirt up here on this part of the island, all we have to do is wait for the grass to grow. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not going to sit here and watch this. It's just going to have to grow over time. It will take a while. In the meantime, we need to probably cap off these areas with the flat stone with half slab to just help out with the limitation of the mob spawning. So normally I get super impatient waiting for the grass to grow. So just like in my previous islands that I was building, I would just, instead of just waiting for days upon days for this grass to finally grow, I would come over here to an already existing grass block, pick that crap up. Oh, I don't really have any dirt to replace it, but luckily there was dirt underneath it. It must have been when I was like splurging dirt back in the day. But yeah, I just come up here and I would head to the other side and I'd drop that dirt block down with the grass and they would just kind of meet in the middle. It's already kind of spreading kind of fast. I think it spreads faster when you're not looking. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, now that we're over here, we'll just take it to the far corner, drop this mother trucker down, and it should, in my mind, double up the speed at least. Let's go ahead and put the silk touch pickaxe back. But luckily I'm doing the nighttime test, and I do not see a single mob over there, so I'm thinking the lighting is working just fine. Okay, so now it's daytime and it is going to take freaking forever for that grass to grow. So in the meantime, I might as well do a little bit of decoration, starting with the trail that I was hoping to achieve not too long ago with this area. Now, there was a couple of ways I was going to do this. I was either going to build a bridge and then have it go straight through the field, or after the bridge, do around this bit or around that bit. Still a little confused. In fact, I think I have like, I don't have any dice on me. I need a flip on it or something. So give me a sec. Okay, so I just pulled this up on Google. This is a free dice roller that Google just has ready to go. So this defaulted to 4. Let's do a quick roll. Let's say if it's 1 and 2, it will go off to the left from my point of view. If it's 3 and 4, it goes up the middle. 5 and 6, it goes off to the right. Okay, so I guess it's going to go off to the left. Kind of wasn't hoping for that one, but to hell with it. We'll do it. Okay, so we're over here. This is where originally the wooden bridge was. It cut across through here, and it just came right beside this manhole that I made. But I'm thinking now that we're going to go off in that direction, I think the bridge is going to be probably a diagonal bridge. It's going to come over to this area. I only say that because it might be easier just to start over here as opposed to trying to figure out what I'm doing over here. But in order for this to go along this way, we might have to cut some of this field off. But I mean, for the most part, we don't have to cut a whole lot away. So I'm going to clear the grass real quick. Okay, so I cleared the grass and I trampled some of the wheat field a little bit so I can pull it a little further back. It may also have to rip up some of this light and water because I'm going to use light post. So we're going to wait a little bit for this grass to cover over, which won't take long because there's an absurd amount of grass on one side. So it will start in no time. So in that case, I am just going to lay out a trail for where I want this trail to be. Alright, so it's the very next day in Minecraft, and all of the dirt has finally turned into grass blocks over here for the trail design. So we're going to go ahead and remove these torches because what I had done as I was waiting for the grass to regrow, I had torn up the leaf blocks that were here for the jack-o'-lanterns, which allowed a lot of darkness to appear in this area. And of course is not good for me because of monsters. So we're going to do a kind of a quick wildly line that goes all the way to the farmhouse. That way I don't have to run through the field. Not that it harms the wheat in any way, but it's more like an aesthetics thing. Take away some of these flowers. Of course I'll put some flowers back down because I'll need them from whenever I release the bees. Again, we just kind of wildly go back this way. Okay, so now we need to go about and figuring out where to put these light posts. The 4x4 rule still applies, I think, to the light post, at least to stop the mobs from spawning. So first, I'm going to lay out these stone bricks and decide whether or not that's good enough. Okay, so there wasn't really a set pattern here. I just put down the lampposts thought they would need, where they would be needed most, just in case the light levels were a bit low. It does look a bit clustered, but again, I have a fear that something will spawn here. So I'll just decorate these with some lampposts. This little meatball block over here, I decided not to put a lamppost on this corner right here. I know it's a little close to this one, but I'm going to try to design another elder tree right here and probably put about 2 or 3 of these lanterns on it. So maybe I can actually peel back some of the excessive lampposts on here. Or, you know what? You know what I've really have just thought about? I just thought about this. I think I need to just make only a few into lampposts and the other ones make it into like a farmland fence. That's what I need to do. Okay, all right, I'm going to change some of that. All right, so here's the finished product right here for the trail. As you see, I got the elder tree here. I put some vines on here, so after a couple episodes, you'll probably see those grow down. Oh, that one just popped down. But the trail is actually looking kind of nice. Again, I like kind of just putting just messy noise stuff around because it just makes everything feel cozy and nice. And since I was having trouble with lighting and I was like, oh, I better spread this out on the elder tree and see if I can get some more lighting, I just remembered, it's like, oh wait, what if I just face the jack-o'-lanterns around so you don't see their face? So you just see pumpkins growing here, or just pumpkins just stationed here, but really their faces are facing right into another block, so you can't tell the jack-o'-lanterns or that they're giving out light. So this particular area is actually very bright. But as you can see here, I put a little bit of a kind of a farmer's fence here, and it's all broken up. It's not all one single piece, just kind of like a rundown farmer. Put some cobblestone down, try to put some plants here to grow. They're having a hard time growing, obviously, because they're not near. Cleared out this area because I think the next thing I want to build is a barn over here, like I mentioned a few episodes ago. But unfortunately, I really don't have enough time in this episode to do it, so I'm going to have to put it on the next one because I spent a lot of time explaining on how I build these things over here, the islands and whatnot, and why they're hollow. Spent a lot of time decorating and talking about path. I know it was a pretty boring episode, but I mean, when you're doing it, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just so soothing and it just feels right. It's like having a sand garden. You just mindlessly put blocks down and it looks nice. Yeah, so I got the elder tree here. I got this nice lit path that goes around the field instead of cutting all the way to our little farmer's. Let's get a better position and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty nice at night. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. So I think, of course, I still can't wait. Oh, somehow a creep. See, yeah, because I got some link. That's how I'm getting monsters over there. As you can see, this area is starting to look more and more, I want to say, gosh, it's just so homely. And oh, and as you can see here too, there's a lot of grass growing. I think growing. We'll take a look at that too before I sign off. Yep, the land is almost done. I mean, well, not entirely done, but it's almost done growing grass. Then, of course, I'll come up here and probably some more hills and some other things to put up here. And I'm really thinking about putting a waterfall somewhere around here. Looking really nice. Build the barn and then build a... Finally close off this area so the bees can stop falling off the map. Whew. But yeah, I mean, this has been fun. It's kind of a fun decorating episode. Sitting here talking and explaining how things really work. Yeah, I better stop rambling. I'm just having a good time just talking because I love hearing my voice. Yeah, I'm such a a-hole. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later and goodbye.